Todd. Good morning and welcome to the 370th meeting of the BRTB. This meeting is being recorded, and if anyone online experiencing any difficulties, please send a message in the chat box. I ask that the BRTB members turn on their cameras during a roll call for attendance, as well as for voting. I ask Ms. Regina Harris to start the roll call to determine member participation. Regina?
Good morning. City of Annapolis. Anne Arundel County.
Present.
Baltimore City. Baltimore County. Carroll County.
Here.
Harford County.
Here.
Howard County.
Here.
Queen Anne's County.
Here.
MDOT.
Here.
RTA of Central Maryland.
Here.
Okay. MDOT MTA.
Here.
Maryland Department of the Environment. Maryland Department of Planning.
Good morning. Here.
Good morning. FHWA.
Here.
Okay, back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Our first item is the approval of the minutes from the November BRTB meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes? And if so, can I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
Normal County motions to approve minutes.
Harford County seconds.
All right, thank you. Let's see, that was motion came from Anne Arundel, and the second was from Hartford. Thank you. Are there any edits from the members? Hearing none, we will now vote on approval of the minutes. When your name is read, please indicate aye or nay. Regina?
Okay. City of Annapolis. Anne Arundel County.
Aye.
Baltimore City. Baltimore County. Carroll County.
Aye.
Harford County.
Aye.
Howard County.
Aye.
Queen Anne's County.
Aye.
MDOT.
Aye.
Aye. RTA of Central Maryland.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The minutes are approved. We move on to our public participant opportunity, where we will offer the public a chance to speak to the board. If anyone has any comments on any of the action items, please wait for that item to be discussed. If there's anyone who wishes to address the board at this time, please indicate in the chat box. Todd?
Mr. Chair, no one requested to speak prior to the meeting, and I'm checking right now. Currently, no one is requesting to speak to the board.
All right, thank you. We now ask for the report on the public involvement activity from Ms. Monica Haynes Benicadetto. Monica?
Good morning.
Morning.
I believe Todd's pulling up the report.
Yes, 1 minute, please. Let me do a switcheroo. Okay. Okay.
Okay, great. So this is going to be, we're going to be reporting on the activities for November, which was very busy. We had a lot going on. So in November, we had over 5,000 people, over 5,100, in fact, visit our public input project pages. We had over 475 people participate in those projects, 688 comments, 393 people signed up for our mailing list. Overall, that's a 9% participation rate, which is about the government industry standard. So that's pretty good. And because we had so many projects going on, we had sent over 19,000 emails to promote the work that we're doing. Next slide. So one of the major projects that we're working on was a survey called What If? This relates to a scenario planning project that we launched, and we're thinking about like what if another pandemic happens? What if, God forbid, another bridge collapses, right? Like what if some crazy big things happen? Help us think about the future. That's the kind of thing that we were talking to folks about, and it was wildly popular. We had the survey open from November 20th. We extended the deadline and closed this past Sunday, December 15th. The survey was held at publicinput.com/whatif. We will be presenting more detailed results in January, but some highlights of the early results. The top 3 priorities that we heard from folks were to improve transportation, to work on climate and the environment, and to pay attention to housing and land use. The top 3 goals related to safety, accessibility, and environmental responsibility. And in terms of transportation improvements, what folks are looking for is more transit service, improving biking and walking, and improving and sustaining the current system, which is what we heard from folks in other surveys as well. Another major project that we've been talking to folks about is the Stony Run project, the Stony Run Trail of the Patapsco Regional Greenway. We've been talking to folks about this project since January. We're out on the street talking to the community for phase 3. We had a community meeting on Wednesday, December 11th. The turnout was great on that. We got to talk to a lot of folks. We do accept comment through the end of the week or the weekend through December 20th. We are looking for feedback on the trail alignment. We've chosen a location, as you can see on the right side of the map, and we want to know what folks think about that final location, which was based on public feedback and studying by the project team. We also want to know what folks are interested in that would make the trail great, such as signage, benches, lights, water fountains, etc. So folks who are interested can scan that QR code or visit publicinput.com/PRG. Another really exciting project that we have going on is the Bikeable Baltimore Region project. We were talking to folks earlier this summer for phase 1. We had a whole series of meetings. This fall, we're talking to people about phase 2, where we've released a proposed bike network, as you can see on the right. We had a really great large-scale meeting with folks at the Baltimore Unity Hall on December 10th. We also had a great virtual meeting that was well attended last week as well. And we hope to post an overview of the bike network for folks to see who weren't able to attend those meetings. So next slide. You can stay tuned for more information or get more details and share input at these websites. The English website is available at publicinput.com/bikebaltoregion. The QR code is there. We also have Spanish language version at BBR Espanol. Other languages also are available by the click of a button. And we have other languages available at the top of the website if you go there. We are welcoming comments through January 10th, so there is time to review over the holidays. And so we do hope folks will take a time to scan those QR codes and visit those websites. In terms of outreach and new connections, again, these are some community meetings that we had, and again, really great turnout, lots of great conversations with folks, and we're really excited to be out and about talking to people. That's all I have for this month. If there's any questions, happy to answer any.
All right, thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
We now ask for a report from the November meeting of the Technical Committee from Dan Janasic.
Thanks, Clarence. Good morning, everybody. The Technical Committee met on December 3rd and considered 3 resolutions that are before you today, and I'll go over those and some other notes. First, the staff presented an overview of the 5310 applicants seeking funding for elderly and disabled individuals. That's federal formula funding for transit. Second, we heard from MDTA, the Maryland Transportation Authority, about the need to create a standalone project that had been part of the I-95 Section 100 tolled lane project. Those would be for the interchange ramps around 695, and we'll hear a little bit more about that today. Third, we heard from the MTA about 7 projects that needed action to be reflected accurately in the 2025 TIP, and we'll get a presentation today from Elizabeth Gordon from the Maryland Transit Administration. All 3 resolutions were recommended.
In the meeting yet. We may have to come back to you to present. Okay.
Sorry, Regina, your microphone's on.
Thanks. Following the action items, there was a presentation on the Unified Planning Work Program. That's the federally funded Unified Planning Work Program for the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and the task to provide information for successful community charging hubs for electric vehicles. As a result, local jurisdictions can now better prepare for and implement EV charging infrastructure in high-density residential areas, or for those who do not have access to private driveway or garage charging infrastructure. As part of the deliverables of the task, there are 5 fact sheets now available on the BMC website. These are available to share with elected officials, colleagues, community members, whoever needs to know about EV charging. And there's also a planning guide coming, which provides more detail and recommendations on how to implement EV chargers in high-density residential areas. The team also reviewed case studies and other existing resources that are available as hyperlinks in the planning guide. Staff also reviewed the schedule for the upcoming UPWP cycle. The technical committee will consider releasing the UPWP for public comment at the February 4th technical committee meeting. Staff have conversations with several members on possible topics for consideration. And so far, there's been a lot of interest in the new prioritization process for the Maryland Department of Transportation. Next, staff provided an update on the long-range transportation plan scenario planning project. The project will explore the potential impacts of uncertain future conditions related to transportation investments and policy decisions, demographic changes, housing, technological change, environmental impacts, and the economy in the Baltimore region. The results will be used to identify strategies and policies that will work well across multiple scenarios to inform the 2027 long-range transportation plan for the Baltimore region. And that concludes our technical committee report. Thank you.
Thank you. We now move on to the action items. Todd, please introduce the action items, please.
Good morning. Today, the BRTB is being asked to consider Resolution 25-16. This resolution is a request for approval to either endorse or to not endorse 18 applications for funding under the FTA 5310 grant program for the fiscal year 2026 to 2027 period. Mr. Tim Briggs of the BMC is going to provide some of the relevant information. Turn it over to Tim.
Thank you, Todd. As the transit planner, I reviewed each of the applications, and I'm going to give you an overview of the process. So 5310 is the program that funds enhanced mobility of seniors and individuals with disabilities. There are 2 types of funding that is eligible under the program. The first is capital, namely buses. That is a 80% federal match and 20% local match. The program also funds operating at a 50-50 match. As part of the review process, applicants within the Baltimore metro area send their applications to BMC, and it is the responsibility of the board to endorse or not endorse each application based on staff recommendation. As the regional coordinating body for the Baltimore region, we've been tasked by MTA to identify whether the applicants are in compliance with the regional strategies that are identified in the Coordinated Human Services Transportation Plan. So for each application, I reviewed whether or not the program, the individual applicant is consistent with these strategies. The most common strategy is supporting capital needs of coordinated human public service transportation providers, and that is providing more buses, vans for their fleets. We received in the Baltimore area 18 applications at the deadline. Additionally, some applications served other regions in Maryland. For example, we received an application from the ARC of Harford County that also serves Cecil County, which is in the Upper Eastern Shore. Here is the applicants for the FY 26-27 period, showing the geographic areas that they serve. As you can see, a lot of applicants are concentrated in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, but overall, we had a broad geographic coverage of the region. Lastly, here's the summary of all of the grant requests, what the project is, what strategy was addressed, along with the staff recommendation. All of the applicants met the requirement of addressing one or more of the regional strategies, and the staff recommendation is to endorse all of the applicants. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
With that, Mr. Chair, we now ask the board to consider Resolution 25-16.
All right, thank you. I'd ask for an approval of the resolution and a second.
Anne Arundel County motions to approve the resolution.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Harford County seconds.
Thank you. The resolution was from Anne Arundel, and the second was from Hartford. Does any BRTB member have any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, we now ask if any member of the public has any questions or comments on the resolution. For those online, please indicate if you would like to comment in the chat box. Todd, has any member of the public asked to speak?
Mr. Chair, currently there was no one requesting to speak on this resolution.
All right, we will now proceed to the vote. Again, with the cameras on, when Rebecca reads your name, please indicate yay or nay.
Anne Arundel County,
Yay.
Carroll County,
Yay.
Harford County,
Yay.
Howard County,
Yay.
Queen Anne's County,
Yay.
MDOT,
Yay.
RTA of Central Maryland.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. The resolution has passed. Next action item, please.
Today, the BRTB is being asked to consider Resolution 25-17. This amendment is from the Maryland Transportation Authority to amend the TIP for a breakout project. We were checking to see if Mr. Carl Chamberlain has been able to join. If not, Ndamazia Ponkum from BMC is going to do the presentation. I'll turn it over to Ndamazia.
Hello, thanks so much. I'll present the details of the I-95 JFK Memorial Highway 695 ramps project. So this project will construct at-grade and flyover ramps from both I-695 westbound and eastbound to the northbound I-95 express toll lanes facility. The ramps will provide an express toll lane connection from 695 to over 12 miles of northbound toll lanes. This will continue to be a part of the larger I-95 express toll lanes system that it originated in. And it was originally planned, designed, and went through the NEPA process during the planning of Section 100 of the I-95 Express Toll Lane systems. A few years ago, these ramps were removed due to budgetary concerns, but now that funding has been secured, they are breaking it out on its own. It is currently geographically separate from the sections currently under construction. However, they will all operate in the same section, scheduled to open in the fall of 2027. And the proposed total cost is $76 million.
Mr. Chair, Carl just joined the meeting, so if there are any questions, I believe he can answer them.
Thank you. All right, any questions for him? So I now ask a member to move for approval of the resolution and a second. Howard County moves for approval.
Winnebago County, second.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. That was the move was from Howard County, and the second was Queen Anne. Does any BRTB member have any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, we now ask if any member of the public have any questions or comments on the resolution. For those online, please indicate if you would like to comment in the chat box. Todd, has any member of the public asked to speak?
Mr. Chair, currently there is no one requesting to speak on this resolution.
Thank you. We now proceed to the vote. Again, with cameras on, when Regina reads your name, please indicate aye or nay.
Anne Arundel County,
Aye.
Carroll County,
Aye.
Harford County,
Aye.
Howard County,
Aye.
Queen Anne's County,
Aye.
MDOT,
Aye.
RTA of Central Maryland.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The resolution has passed. Next action item.
Today, the BRTB is being asked to consider Resolution 25-18. Amendment is a request from the Maryland Transit Administration to amend the TIP for 7 projects. 2 are new to the TIP and 5 are to align funds with the current year of obligation. Ms. Liz Gordon from MTA is going to present on the request. Turn it over to Liz.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for advancing the slides for me. I appreciate it. Okay, so first and foremost, something to know or be refreshed on about our federal funding is that where the funding is in the TIP has to align with the year that the funds will get obligated in the actual federal grant itself. There is at this moment a lot of pressure to get a bunch of our grants obligated. I think anytime there's a federal administration transition, there's a desire to get loose ends tied up. So that's why you're seeing a lot of amendments from us to get projects into the TIP and get money moved around where it needs to be. We're taking all of these actions in order to obligate our grants. Next slide. First, the Kirk bus facility replacement, phases 1 and 2. This project is complete, and so this is an effort to just move the funding around to be where it needs to be in the TIP. If any of you have ever seen our Kirk division, it's really cool. It's where we're running our few pilot battery electric buses and where the charging infrastructure is. So just an update to move money. Similarly, this is ongoing projects to overhaul and replace our rolling stock, our vehicles, necessary work, and just moving it to align with the year of obligation. System preservation, similarly, we use federal formula funds to match state funds in order to get some of our state of good repair work completed in a timely manner. And we need the funds to land where they're obligated. These are ongoing projects. The Capital Small Urban Transit Systems grant, obligating money for our partners to be able to continue their capital projects across the state. Preventive maintenance, I think intuitive value to getting the preventive maintenance done. And we are able to have pre-award authority, so these projects are ongoing, but you know, we do want the award to come through for us. So this amendment will obligate fiscal year 23 and 24 formula funding and matching funds in order to use them. A new project, this is a grant that we won, the All Stations Accessibility Program. Many of these, this is a federal grant program that's relatively new. Many of these awards went to making subway stations in New York system and other legacy rail systems, making them ADA accessible. But we were able to win one, which is really cool, at the Martin Airport MARC stop, which is one of the few level crossings of the Northeast corridor. So this is to create accessibility improvements at the existing station at Martin Airport. Our light rail fleet transition, we've talked about this a lot, but this is the actual tip action to get that grant moving forward. We won $213.6 million from the Federal Rail Vehicle Replacement Grant, which is very cool. We like that a lot. And in order to get that grant obligated and keep that program on schedule, this is an associated tip action so that we can use that money as quickly as it needs to be used in order to replace our rapidly aging light rail vehicles. I'm happy to answer any questions, and then our manager of Baltimore Planning, Jamie, is also happy to take any questions via email.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna ask a member to move for approval on the resolution in a second. Howard County moves for approval.
Hartford County seconds.
Thank you. That was Howard County on the first move and Hartford the second. Does any BRTB member have any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, we now ask if any member of the public have any questions or comments on the resolution. For those online, please indicate if you would like to comment in the chat box. Todd, has any member of the public asked to speak?
Mr. Chair, currently there is no member of the public requesting to speak on this resolution.
Thank you. We now proceed to the vote. Again, with cameras on, when Regina reads your name, please indicate aye or nay.
Anne Arundel County,
Aye.
Carroll County,
Aye.
Hartford County,
Aye.
Howard County,
Aye.
Queen Anne's County,
Aye.
MDOT,
Aye.
RTA of Central Maryland.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, the resolution has passed. Now to the informational item. Todd, please introduce the speaker.
Certainly. First, I'd like to ask if Regina is on the line, if she might be able to make Jake a co-host so that he can share his screen.
Will do.
But today we have the representatives from WellMapco, our MPO partner to the north that represents Newcastle County and Cecil County. They're going to share information on a program that they do known as the Interregional Report. It looks at current and future demographic travel behavior within the greater region. And we welcome them to our meeting and appreciate them presenting on this topic. So we're going to turn it over to Jake. Thanks.
All right, good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm Jake Thompson, Senior Planner for WellMapco, and I'm going to go over our interregional report. So as Todd mentioned, we are the Wilmington Area Planning Council. We are the MPO located just to the north of PMC covering Newcastle County, Delaware, and Cecil County, Maryland. The interregional report is a data-oriented summary of demographic changes and travel characteristics for a 28-county study area centering on the WMAPCO region. As you all know, our transportation system does not end on county lines, so it's important to look beyond those boundaries. First interregional report was completed in 2004. It's updated periodically. And this 2024 report includes updated projections through 2050. Study area for this report includes MPOs and counties within 80 miles of the WMAPCO region, encompassing a total of 28 counties in 4 states. Data for this report comes from the U.S. Census Bureau, FHWA, state DOTs, MPOs, county planning departments, and transit providers. Looking out to 2050, the population of the study area will grow from 11.5 to 12.6 million. That's an increase of 1.1 million people, or 10%. Cecil County is expected to have the largest growth, gaining 33% of its population. Salem County is the only county expected to have a significant decline, losing 14%. Baltimore City will grow by about 4%, and Philadelphia by 5%. Employment is expected to grow from 5.9 to 6.5 million. That's an increase of 600,000 jobs, or 11%. Philadelphia will be the largest contributor, adding 100,000 jobs. And Newcastle, Carroll, and Salem counties are the only counties expected to lose a significant amount of jobs. Up to the 2010 census, the U.S. Census Bureau had divided urban areas into 2 categories: urbanized areas and urban clusters, and those are shown in the map and outlines, and these were used in previous interregional reports. But for the 2020 census, these were combined into one category, the urban area. So as a result, 26% of our study area is now considered urban. That is down from 28% based on the 2010 census definitions. That does not mean the study areas become less urban. There's just been a change of definitions, which we will use for comparisons moving forward. In 2022, the average measured road segment carried over 31,000 vehicles per day, and I-95 carried over 105,000 daily vehicles through the study area. It is down from 120,000 in 2012, possibly as a result of the increase in remote work, and the heaviest traffic moves north and south between Baltimore and Philadelphia. Looking at 2045, increases in population and employment will drive increases in traffic if no changes are made to the transportation system. By 2045, we can expect a 52% increase in traffic throughout the study area, and I-95 will see a 73% increase to 182,000 daily vehicles. A more multimodal, less auto-dependent transportation system will help to sustainably support the region's mobility needs as we move into the future. The COVID-19 pandemic led to a significant increase in remote work, but despite this, between 2016 and 2021, the average commute time remained static, about 28.8 minutes. The longest commutes were in Philadelphia, Queen Anne's County, and Carroll County, all above 30 minutes, and the shortest commutes were in Cape May County at 22 minutes. The highest percentage of workers who drove alone were in Caroline, Salem, and York counties, all above 80%. The lowest percentage was in Philadelphia, just under half, and Baltimore City at 58%. Between 2010 and 2021, we saw a significant decline in driving alone to work, from 79% down to 71%, and 11% of workers in the study area now work from home. I-95 in the Mid-Atlantic is the most heavily traveled truck route in the United States. In 2022, I-95 carried nearly 17,000 daily trucks on its average segment, and 10% of all vehicles in the study area and 16% of I-95 consisted of trucks. Other significant truck routes include I-83 between Baltimore and York County, I-76 between Philadelphia and Lancaster County, and I-295 across New Jersey. By 2045, truck traffic is expected to grow by 25% and comprise 8% of all vehicles, with growth occurring on roadways throughout the study area. On I-95, truck traffic will grow by 23%, reaching nearly 21,000 daily trucks, or 11% of all vehicles on I-95. In 2022, nearly 42 million tons of domestic freight departed or arrived in Delaware. More than half of that, 22 million tons, were produced locally and stayed within the state. And the 3 surrounding states comprise 31% of trade with Delaware. and less than 15% of Delaware freight traveled outside of states in the interregional report study area. Transit score is a methodology developed by DVRPC, which scores areas based on their ability to support transit investments. This can be useful in long-range planning and congestion management. It utilizes 3 factors: population density, employment density, and zero-car households. The higher scores are, of course, in dense city centers. And what we saw since 2005, scores have grown along Delaware Route 1, particularly in Middletown, Smyrna, and Dover, while other areas have remained largely unchanged. Transit services are most intensive in city centers, but our transportation needs do not end at administrative borders. So this map highlights transit routes that extend beyond county lines. In addition to intercity commuter rail, we have bus routes across agency boundaries highlighted in bright green. Those include Cecil Transit operates 2 bus routes between Elkton and Newark and Glasgow, Delaware. Rabbit Transit operates an express bus service between Newark and Towson, Maryland. And New Jersey Transit operates several bus routes between Center City, Philadelphia, and New Jersey destinations. MPOs are required by law to consider the needs and participation of low-income and minority populations. Between 2010 and 2020, low-income individuals dropped by 100,000, from 12% to 11% of the study area. Concentrations of poverty within cities along I-95 are reduced, and census tracts with above-average poverty are scattered throughout the study area. Between 2010 and 2021, the minority population grew by 600,000 to 4.5 million people, now comprising 39% of the region's population. Geographically, these concentrations have remained fairly static since 2010. Higher concentrations remain within cities along I-95, with smaller pockets in suburban communities. MPOs and counties identify investment areas based on land use patterns. This can be helpful to coordinate transportation investments in land use, use limited resources efficiently, and address growth management issues. These strategies vary across agencies, but they tend to target the most intensive infrastructure investments in central urban areas, maintenance and expansion in suburban areas, and environmental preservation in rural areas. This is a map of projects from recent transportation improvement programs that would have a significant impact on our regional transportation system. These include 6 highway projects and 4 transit projects. And over the next few years, nearly 10 times as much funding is directed towards these highway projects than these transit projects. So to summarize, we can expect to see significant population and employment growth by 2050, population growing by nearly 10% and employment by 11%. We can expect to see 25% more trucks and 52% more traffic overall if no changes are made to the transportation system. The report concludes with a few recommendations, including expanding inter-county transit services, continuing interagency coordination, and supporting dense walkable land uses and limiting outward growth. For more information and view the interregional report, you can visit wilmapco.org/interregional. I'd be happy to take any questions.
All right, hearing none. Thank you, Jake. We'll now move on now, and I appreciate that. Is there any other business to come before the BRTB?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to echo your appreciation for WillMapCo joining us today. I see the executive director from WillMapCo, Tigis Gaze, is here also. So just like to say hello to her and thank you to her and Jake for doing the presentation. But with that, Mr. Chair, the staff have no more business for the BRTB today.
Mr. Chair, and Director Lang, I have a question regarding the providers list provided by the transit planner presentation. Is there a pamphlet that we can hand out to potential users for those alternate 5310 providers that you all have on hand?
There is an application packet. Maybe I'll turn this over to Tim. As the state goes out for a call for 5310 provider applications, there's a booklet that they need to follow, so we can make sure that we get that to you. But if you think it'd be easier, we might be able to digest that down into something that you might just be able to hand out a little bit, more conveniently.
What about for users though, not necessarily applicants, but the actual users of the service? Is there something that's geared toward them?
Not sure of that, but we can certainly check into that with the 5310 statewide commission and see whether or not we might be able to develop something like that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, anyone? All right. Hearing none, I call for a vote to close the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you. The next meeting of the BRTB will be in person and is scheduled for January 14th. All right, thank you all.
Thank you all. Take care now.